Hi, MindGritters. How are you doing today? I hope you're all safe. I know we are all in the pandemic situation, but just hang on. Everything will be okay sometime in the future. Better days are coming. You just need to be patient. You just need to keep going. What we're going to talk about today are the most important life lessons from Oprah, one of the most interesting and popular personalities of the world. But before we dive into it, let's play this. An amazing morning once again, mind greeters. I hope you're all positive. Yes, positive, not from COVID, but having that positive mindset, having that positive outlook in life. Challenges will be there every now and then, but remember that we are all in this together. All of the people in the globe are experiencing this pandemic situation. We will all get through this, okay? Just remember that you're always amazing, you're awesome. We just need to keep going, okay? So we will all be successful despite this pandemic situation. All right, so our episode for today is the 5th episode of the Growth Mindset Project series, and we will be talking about some of the most important life lessons from Oprah. Did you know that Oprah is dubbed as the queen of all media, and she was the richest African American of the 20th century and North America's first black multi-billionaire? Oprah is super amazing. I was actually drawn by her personality. I was drawn by her character. She has a deep spirituality, and that's one of the most important traits that I like about her. And she believes in the law of attraction. She also believes in the positive vibrations. She was able to manifest all of the riches that she has nowadays with all of the meditation, all of the positive stuff that she's been doing for quite some time. So she has the success formula that she's been using all through her life. What we're going to talk about today are some of the important pointers that she was able to share in her channel or in her show or in some of her appearances in some of the conferences or some of the commencement exercises. So let's start with the number one important life lesson. So let me check my record in here. So the number one that I input in here is actually determine your calling or your purpose. Your job is not always going to fulfill you, definitely. There will be times that you will be drained, and there will be times that you will not be so happy in terms of really working for the job that you're performing. But that's okay, because that's normal. You have to do it while you are looking for that specific purpose in life. So that's a stepping stone. Your job right now, remember that that's a stepping stone for you to get there, for you to determine that purpose that you have in your life. And that's very important. If you will define, if you will be able to get into that point wherein you are really working for that purpose, you are working for that something that you're passionate about. It's not just about waiting for the paycheck. It's all about that purpose, something that's coming from the emotional state of yourself, because that's something that will drive you in the long run.
Your job in life is to figure out what it is you are called to do. And you use a job until you can figure out what the calling is. Because a job is necessary to survive, and you live in a world where... So in my early days, I had a job. I had a job until I could figure out what it was really, what that gave my life its purpose and meaning. And I'd gotten demoted in my job in Baltimore as an anchor woman because as they hired me, and then they decided I was the wrong color, and I was the wrong size, and I was the wrong, I had lots of problems, and they were trying to take me off the air.
The number 2 on my list is all about not betraying yourself. Every choice that you are making, every decision that you are making will enhance your spirit or will drain your spirit. So it's up to you how you will decide what you will choose. So you just need to be very honest with yourself. And how do you know if you are at the right path or if you are on the right path? The answer to that question is whether you are not betraying yourself. If you are not betraying yourself, you are on the right path.
You can fully, I got that. It's like if you're at a job, you know you're really gifted and talented. People are not paying you for what you value yourself to be. You come into work every day feeling like I'm really not valued. I'm not being respected for what I do, or my boss is unkind, or whatever the situation might be. There's an unease
That's right.
with you.
That's right.
Yeah. And so when you have more respect for yourself, put yourself in a position where you can, feel your sense of value or worth,
Right.
that turns around.
That's right.
And that's how you know.
Number 3, keep a gratitude journal. Being grateful is one of the most important traits that I believe you need to have. On a daily basis, when you wake up in the morning, the first thing that you have to think of are the things that you are grateful for, because that will set you up through the entire day. And that's very important when you are looking at some of those things that you are grateful for, because the more that you do that, the more that you are actually, the universe will give you more of that. The Lord above, or the Almighty above, will give you more of the positive things in your life. So make sure that you keep a gratitude journal. So what are you going to do with the journal? When you wake up in the morning, so you just need to jot down 3 to 5 things that you are grateful for. And before you sleep, also jot down all of the things that you are grateful for. And do that in the next 30 days so that it becomes a habit. And that's a very good habit that you can build all through your lifetime.
I know. I was going to say, that's why I've kept a gratitude journal for years.
Yes.
If you keep a gratitude journal, listen, I do this thing, just of the 5 things in the day that made you most grateful. What you start to notice is that there are more things added to your list, and you don't even have time to write them all.
Yes.
And when you start to pay attention to the things.
Number 4, use this moment, your time to rise. It's very important that you are living in the moment. I know that we are in a pandemic situation, but that's okay. All of us are in this pandemic situation. This shouldn't stop you from achieving your goal. This shouldn't stop you from getting into where you need to be. This shouldn't be the reason why you should be giving up. You have to get up, you have to rise, and you have to think of that one thing that you wanted to achieve in life.
So this is what I also know, that this moment in time, this is your time to rise. It is. Even though you can't go anywhere, you can't stand in line at Starbucks, you can't go to a party, you can't go to any place without, everywhere you turn, people are talking about how bad things are, how terrible it is. And this is what I know. The problem is everybody is meeting hysteria with more hysteria. And then we just are all becoming hysterical, and it's getting worse. What I've learned all these years is that we're not supposed to match it or even get locked into resisting or pushing against it. We're supposed to see this moment in time for what it is. We're supposed to see through it and then transcend it. That is how you overcome hysteria. And that is how you overcome the sniping at one another, the trolling, the mean-spirited partisanship on both sides of the aisle, the divisiveness, the injustices, and the out-and-out hatred. You use it. Use this moment to encourage you, to embolden you, and to literally push you into the rising of your life. And to borrow a phrase from my beloved mentor, Maya Angelou, just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like the hope springing high, you will rise.
Number 5, be the truth. Should you have any advocacies or should you have any initiatives across the globe or even right here in the Philippines, you just need to continue doing it because you are doing something worthwhile. And that is the truth that we have to share to the entire world. On my end, I advocate for equality, I advocate for positivity, I advocate for mental health awareness. So those are the truths that I believe I need to keep pushing for so that everyone will benefit from it.
Here's what you have to do. You make the choice every day, every single day, to exemplify honesty, because the truth, let me tell you something about the truth. The truth exonerates and it convicts. It disinfects and it galvanizes. The truth has always been and will always be our shield against corruption, our shield against greed and despair. The truth is our saving grace. And not only are you here, USC Annenberg, to tell it, to write it, to proclaim it, to speak it, but to be it. Be the truth. Be the truth.
Number 6, pick a problem and do something about it. And this is very important because there's a lot of problems in the world. There are complex problems, there are unique problems that we have to solve, but we cannot solve all of those problems. All you need to do is just get one problem and focus on the problem and be able to think through what are the solutions or recommendations that you can provide to alleviate that situation or that can solve that specific problem. And I believe that can be a legacy that you can provide or that you can deliver to this world.
Few grand themes beginning with this. Pick a problem, any problem. The list is long. Here are just a few that are at the top of my list. There's gun violence, and there's climate change and systemic racism, economic inequality, media bias. The homeless need opportunity. The addicted need treatment. The dreamers need protection. The prison system needs reforming. The LGBTQ community needs acceptance. The social safety net needs saving, and the misogyny needs to stop.
Number 7 is very nice. Your legacy is every life you touch. That's so inspiring. It's not about the platforms that you build. It's not about the apps that you develop. It's not about the buildings that you build. It's actually about the people you are touching while you are building all of those things. Say for instance, in Oprah's case, when she's building her school, it's actually not the school that we can consider as the legacy, but the students and the lives of those people that she was able to touch through that school.
You build a legacy, not from one thing, but from everything. I remember when I just opened my school in 2007, I came back and I had the great joy of sitting at Maya Angelou's table. She hadn't been able to attend the opening in South Africa, and I said to her, "Oh, Maya, the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy, that's going to be my greatest legacy." I remember she was standing at the counter making biscuits, and she turned, she put the dough down, and she looked at me and she said, "You have no idea what your legacy will be." I said, "Excuse me? I just opened this school and these girls and it's going to be," and she said, "You have no idea what your legacy will be, because your legacy is every life you touch." Every life you touch.
Number 8, do what you love. I have a question for you. Are you doing what you love right now? Have you figured it out? If you haven't figured it out yet, then it's time for you to look for it. Because if you are doing what you love, you will feel that fulfillment. You will be successful and you will be happier and you will be more productive. You will be more inspired in terms of really finishing every task that you do.
Find what is your passion. If you find what you love, you never get tired. Or if you do get tired, you're fueled by the energy of your work. So I know that I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing at this time. I also know that what this show can do in terms of being a voice in changing the world, it's just the beginning of what this show can do. It's fun to do things like this, but and it's necessary to do things like this in order to be able to do the bigger, grander things, to change what happens to the face of children in Africa, for example, or what happens to education with kids in this country. So I believe that that what has happened to me is really the beginning of the greater passion to come. And so you know what, if you're doing the right thing, if it feels like it's right to you. And when you hit the thing that feels right, when you know it's the right thing, you know it's right because it gives you your juice, and you know it's right because you would do it for nothing. You would do it for nothing and find a way to be able just to do it in order to be able to continue. That's how you know you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Number 9, pay attention. Life is whispering to you. You just need to listen to that whisper. Every now and then, I know that life has been telling you something. It's either you have to rest, it's either you have to take up something, it's either you have to study something. It has been telling you, it has been providing you a lot of information. You just need to be able to listen to that whisper because it's very important. It's very important that you're living the moment. It's very important that you're focusing on what is now rather than really worrying on what's going to happen for tomorrow. So listen very carefully with that whisper. So before you go to, before you sleep tonight, I want to challenge you. Get a pen and a paper and jot down some of those things that you believe like has been whispering you and be able to go through the list on a daily basis. And when you do that, you will have that clarity in terms of that whisper that will lead you to where you need to be. Maybe you will be asking why you are not, getting into that specific spot where you need to be. Maybe that is the way where you can, decode or you can get into that spot where you have, where you need to be.
I would say listening to your life as it whispers to you first so that it does not have to knock you upside the head with a brick or come crashing down on you as a brick wall is one of the greatest principles of life, because there are many things that happen in life that are beyond our control. Natural disasters, death, unexplained events. But there are also many, many, many things in life which we can control and become out of control because you're just not paying attention. You are sleepwalking through your life. And I have seen this so many times on the show. I wanted to take the guests and go, would you just pay attention? So this is what I've learned and how I've explained it to myself. Life whispers to you all the time. Your life is speaking to you all around, from the time you wake up in the morning and every single experience that's coming into your personal space, into your physical space. All of those experiences are speaking to you. They're telling you something about your life and about your circumstances. It whispers, and if you don't get the whisper gets louder. If you don't get the whisper, when it gets louder, it gets, I call it like a little pebble, like a little thump upside your head. When I was a kid, if I was doing something my grandmother didn't like, she'd just turn around and thump me. She wouldn't even look at me. She'd just give me a thump, and I'd know that's my cue to stop it, or we're gonna get worse. The whisper is the message. The pebble or the thump upside the head, usually it's gone into a problem. You don't pay attention to the problem becomes a brick upside your head. The brick upside your head is a crisis. You don't pay attention to the brick upside your head. The crisis turns into a disaster, and the whole house brick wall comes falling.
Number 10 on my list is very interesting. There are no wrong paths. There's no failure. Whatever it is that we went through in life, that's okay. That's perfectly okay. There are no wrong paths. All of the things that we did before is actually leading us to that path, to our own unique path, no matter what it is. All we need to do is we just need to have that mental toughness, meaning we have to be prepared in all of the challenges. How do we prepare for that? So we have to identify, all of the possible challenges that we will be going through, and then identify the steps that we have to do so that when the challenge comes our way, there's a possibility that we can win that specific challenge in a shorter period of time. And if we keep on doing that, challenges will decrease because of our way of handling it, because of our way of overcoming it. And there's also that likelihood that the amount of time in terms of us spending overcoming the challenge will also decrease.
Human being. I just want to end with this. Yeah. There are no mistakes. There really aren't any, because you have a supreme destiny. When you're in your little mind, in your little personality mind, where you're not centered, where you really don't know who you are, that you come from something greater and bigger, and that we really all are the same. When you don't know that, you get all flustered. You get stressed all the time, wanting something to be what it isn't. There is a supreme moment of destiny calling on your life. Your job is to feel that, to hear that, to know that. And sometimes when you're not listening, you get taken off track. You get in the wrong marriage, the wrong relationship, you take the wrong job. Yeah, but it's all leading to the same path. There are no wrong paths. There are none. There's no such thing as failure, really, because failure is just that thing trying to move you in another direction. So you get as much from your losses as you do from your victories, because the losses are there to wake you up. The losses are to say, fool, that is why you go to school. So that CBS can call you. So when you understand that, you don't allow yourself to be completely thrown by a grade or by a circumstance, because your life is bigger than any one experience. And if I always ask people on Super Soul Sunday to tell me, what would you say to your younger self? Every person says in one form or another, I would have said, relax. Relax. It's going to be okay. It really is going to be okay. Because even if you're on a detour right now, and that's how you know when you're not at ease with yourself, when you're feeling like, oh, yeah, shouldn't be that is the cue that you need to be moving in another direction. Don't let yourself get all thrown off, continue to be thrown off course. When you're feeling off course, that's the key. How do I turn around? So when everybody was talking about, when I started this network, if I had only known, good Lord, how difficult it would be. The way through the challenge is to get still and ask yourself, what is the next right move? Not think about, oh, I got all of this stuff. What is the next right move? And then from that space, make the next right move and the next right move. And not to be overwhelmed by it, because you know your life is bigger than that one moment. You know you're not defined by what somebody says is a failure for you, because failure is just there to point you in a different direction. And that's all the time I got.
That's all it, MindGritters, for today. I hope you learned something. Should you have any comments, you can jot down all of those comments or any suggestions in the comment section down below. You can also follow me in my Instagram accounts. The first Instagram account that I have in here, this will provide you a lot of good photos in all of the countries I visited. And also the second Instagram account will provide you more tips in life, more tips in your career, and how you can be more successful. So there's a lot of good stuff that you can access in there. You can also follow me in my LinkedIn account. I also post a lot of good things or articles right there. Stay safe, happy, gritty, and healthy. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.